Shalom Israel. First, I want to start by giving honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Akakodash. Double honors into the elders, apostles, and bishops, GMS, Great Millstone, who rule well, teach, and edify, and peace and blessings unto you 130 elect. My name is Yeshaya. Adawan Ratazah, gonna do a edifying lesson and going into, keeping upon your emotions and keeping things in check, right? And doing a little bit of a different template for the video today, just got finished up with the plantation, just kick over this lesson, man, because, I've meditating, through today, like, Satan been trying to fuck with bros, like throughout the day, like you travel to work, you got demons on the road, you go to work, you got demons in your workplace, you go back home, you might even have demons at home, you go to the gym, there's demons at the gym, right? And Esau, this devil, is fashioning this society that we live in, with a even more intensified energy. Like he's really trying to come down, right? Which Revelations 12 and verse 12, that reads, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." So that great wrath is out here wearing down bros. That wrath that Esau's sending out, man, it's stressful, man. It fucks with your head. It really makes you kind of think not as the way you should be thinking, and moving in a fashion that is irregular to that which you should be moving in. Here in Daniel, the 7th chapter, in the 27th verse, it says, "The kingdom and dominion and the greatness." So like, hold up. I gotta read up a little bit, Shalakia. Salakia. So Daniel 7 and 25, and it says, "He shall speak great things against the Most High." And this is talking about Esau, man. This devil blasphemed the Lord. We're living in Babylon the Great, which, you read in Revelation 11 and verse 8. Just go there real quick since I brought it up. It says, "Their dead bodies shall lay in the streets of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt." This is where we're living. America, Babylon the Great, which is, spiritually, Babylon. It says, "Where also our Lord was crucified." The Lord was crucified here in his image. You look around, all you see is Caesar Borgia. You look around, you see these, Roman Catholic churches accepting that spirit of Sodom and Gomorrah. You see fucking devils and shit all over the place, spreading this false ass, belief, right, and oppressing, the saints of the Lord. You got reading on, it says, "He shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and be given into his hand until a time and the dividing of times." So this devil is really out here wearing out the saints of the Most High. The saints is going into the elect. We're trying to put on that fashion of the hopeful elect, and we're trying to move in that way, but it's hard, because this devil is doing everything that he can to make sure that they're strangled, man. That your day-to-day life is miserable, so to say. In Proverbs you read, it says, he cannot rest lest he cause some to fall. This is the type of society we're living in, and you have to understand that and be spiritual with the way that you move, so that you know that this is just a test. This is all a part of the affliction. This is the fiery trial. This is the condition of the battle. These things that the Comforter, these scriptures will teach you about, and I have understanding to understand that it's just like, this is what we have to deal with as a man here in this fucking captivity that we're currently in. And that carries me over to, the point of, be angry and sin not. You know what I'm saying? Just because we're going through this shit, you have to stay stoic, man. You have to have a stoic mind in your approach to your day-to-day, man. Satan's gonna throw the monkey wrenches. He's gonna throw all the fucking bullshit at you. But at the end of the day, still make good decisions. Still be on top of your things. Still, try to achieve that, to be blameless. You know what I'm saying? We're not here to lose, man. We're running this race to win. But a part of running this race is the fucking stumbling blocks that are going to be in front of us. And as we get closer and closer to Jacob's trouble, these stumbling blocks are only going to increase, right? Ephesians 4 and verse 26, it says, "Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. Neither give place to the devil." Right? Let him that stole, let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor working. That's really the point. Give no place to the devil. Esau is this devil. Give no place. Don't let this motherfucker, really just beat you down as a man, bro. You go to work, you read in Micah, the 2nd chapter, he covets fields and he takes them by force and he'll oppress a man in his heritage. That's what he fucking does. This is what he's made to do. All right, but we understand that and we recognize that his deceitful ways. Reading in the Corinthians, we're not ignorant to his devices. This is a devil. All right, and Yahweh Hashem Yahushua has blessed you with the spirit, with the knowledge of him, to be able to be aware of that and move accordingly, man. Being in that spirit of offend less. Do what you got to do, regardless of this devil is, coming down and beating your ass. You get back up. You get back up and you keep on moving and you make good decisions, because any small decision can change the whole course of your fucking life in a matter of seconds. This is Babylon the Great. Deuteronomy 28:66. Your life shall hang in a balance. All right. This is not our fucking rest. This is a place where you have to stay on your P's and Q's. You got to be aware, man. You got to make sure that as a man that you're thinking soberly. It's so easy to get an feminine spirit and just try to start thinking out of your emotions and shit. Make sure your heart is right, because look, anything could happen. You at the job site and say you cut some motherfucker out through you just get real zealous through the spirit, like you a fucking Edomite, this and that and that and this. You can get the ministry blamed for that, man. You moving outside of wisdom. All right, the scriptures tell you, be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. We are sheep sent amongst wolves. So with that knowledge, understanding that there's wolves all around us and they all trying to fucking kill us, then understand that you have to move smartly with everything that you do, man. You on a road, the officer pull up to the fucking window, man, don't argue with this nigga, man. Leave his ass alone, bro. Don't be mad because you got pulled over and make your life, possibly over with. This nigga will kill you, you know what I mean? Or, you go to jail and shit. You got people counting on you at the end of the day. If you're a man and you got a wife, your wife is counting on you, man. If you're a man, you got children, your seeds counting on you, your mother, your father, man. All these people, man, they counting on you. The Lord put you in a position to potentially be one of these elect men. Lord's testing, and building up his elect and sifting Israel simultaneously. Those that say that they're in this faith and in this truth, you have to be a type of man to be able to be in this truth. You have to have high levels of integrity, high levels of humility. It takes a lot of humility just to take the low all the fucking time. You take the low no matter what. No matter what, because at the end of the day, ye are gods, but ye shall die as men. Did the Lord not take the low in his time? To have to be put in a position like that he was in the flesh? Dealing with all of that bullshit. Look at the prophets of foretime. They took the low all the time. All the time they took the low. No matter what the fuck the situation was, they never tried to meet carnality with carnality, because a carnal mind is enmity with the Most High. You trying to meet carnality with carnality, you're gonna fucking lose. That's just basically it. Because say for an example, this nigga's pressing you. All right, this motherfucker trying to be up in your face. Leave this nigga alone, bro. Like just get away from him. Most of the times, when people try to be argumentative, if you don't say shit and just keep on moving, because you should be trying to move blamelessly, so what are you doing wrong anyways? You just keep on moving. These motherfuckers will literally back off. Be spiritually minded in situations like this. Throw up a prayer, try to be present types, try to be present within your body, try to be present within the spirit, try to, as much as you possibly can, make sober thoughts. And that leads me to this 1 Peter, the 5th chapter and the 8th verse. All right, you know what I'm saying? Reads, it says, oh no, skipped over Peter. Salakia. It says, actually, I'm gonna read up a little bit. It says, humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, that he may exalt you in due time. Humbling yourself before the Lord, too, is also taking a low in certain of these situations. Because verse 7, cast all of your care upon him, for he cares for you. So, you know, you got this motherfucker dealing with you, you know, messing you up, man. You got certain situations, like for an example, say your car break down and shit, and you're so mad about your car breaking down. Well, you understand a man's goings are the Lord. You know, your car broke down not by mistake or not by, you know, just the universe against you, like Jake like to say all the time. The Lord permitted your car to fucking break down, just like the Lord permits your car to keep going, like the Lord permits you to even drive to and from your destination in the car. Think about it. The Lord doesn't have to let you live. At any point in time, I could die from cardiac arrest right now. Lord forbid that may happen. And that's why we humble ourselves and we constantly praise the Lord and say prayers to stay in a spiritual sense, to understand that we're, you know, just little, man. You know, we are sheep. We are truly sheep at the very foundation of who we are as men. You know what I'm saying? You might think that, oh yeah, I'm tough and all that, but hey, even the strongest nigga on this world cannot take a bullet to the brain. Even the strongest, most buff, 500-pound benching ass nigga, if you shoot him in the head, that nigga's dead. That's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? But reading verse 8 says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. If you're not being sober, think about it like this. If you're in a war or something like that, or if you're in a fight, you got the nigga that be seeing red. They always say the man that says that he sees red gets knocked out the first. Because why? The devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. If you're not in a sober mind, you know, even emotionally, you can apply that to emotional sobriety. If you're not thinking like a fucking man and you're just over here like just wigged out and shit and you're allowing your emotions to guide you, that's when the fucking devil has made a place. That devil has made a place. That demon has found a nice comfy spot to just fucking take a load off, man. Alright? That's why you gotta be soberly minded, even on an emotional sense, with the decisions that you make and the things that you do. Your car breaks down and all of a sudden you feel like, oh man, fuck this, man. I can't deal with this shit. And then you drink a whole bottle of liquor after telling yourself that you wouldn't do that. Or your car breaks down, or, you know, your job lays you off or something like that, and now you fucking eat just a tremendous amount of bullshit. Like a tremendous amount. I'm talking like just a gluttonous amount of food just to try to take the ease off. You have to sometimes sit and there's times where it's permissible just to, you know, drown out your sorrows in a little bit of yan, but it's all in a balance. But that's just that specific situation I'm talking about. Sometimes when you just say a minor inconvenience happens or a major inconvenience happens, and the first thing you do is just go back on your integrity. You're just like, man, you losing it. You losing yourself as a man. You're thinking emotionally. You know, bad decisions compound to more bad decisions. Demons see that shit. Like we read earlier, create no place for the devil. Don't allow this nigga to have any fucking pull on you, man. Don't allow him an opportunity to come into your life and start making fucking things happen. You know what I'm saying? You allow these devils to come in and you just not fighting against it, and you not being in the spirit. Are you in an emotional spirit? All right? That motherfucking devil's gonna absolutely take you out, man. All right? And next I wanted to get Philippians, the 2nd chapter and the 12th verse. Lord willing is edifying, you know, because bros are just thinking like it's been a very trying time, you know. The Lord, it's a sifting period, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of bros are struggling, you know, whether it's financial, mental, you know, relationship wise, whatever is going on in their lives. You could kind of peep the spirit. Like some, you know, you got some brothers that are like really struggling with it. Even at times I find myself struggling with it, man. You got the job over here talking about you got to do this and that and blah blah blah, and it takes a lot for a man to be able to still pick himself up, man. To through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And that's why we glorify the Lord, because you don't pick yourself up, it's the Lord that picks you up to be able to do these things. And that's why you have to think spiritually. You think carnally, you think like, oh man, I'm gonna handle this shit, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna do it. You're not. You're just not gonna do it. The Lord is gonna have to do it. You know what did they say in that video? Is like, if the Lord don't do it, it just ain't getting done. That's true. If the Lord doesn't do it, it's not getting done. All right? Because you don't have control over the things that you do. The things that you think that you can do, you really don't have that free will. All things are the Lord worketh after his own will in all things. You can read that in Ephesians, the 1st chapter, in the 11th verse. We don't have free will. All right? But one thing that happens though is if you get weak, all right, if you get weak in the flesh and shit, and you start making bad decisions, you can't blame the Lord for those decisions. You know what I'm saying? If you get weak and you don't hold your integrity as a man, you can't blame the Lord and say, you know, Lord, it's you that made me do that. You know? Let me see if I can find that. It's in James here, Salaki. Okay. So James 1:12, and it says, blessed is a man that endured temptations, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life. So you have to endure through these things. It's tempting for you to be carnal. It's tempting for you to go into your flesh. It's tempting for you to do all of these things. But at the end of the day, blessed is a man who isn't tempted by that shit and still does what he has to do. And it says, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, for the Lord cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempt he any man. Right? You know, you allowing that devil to have a place to come and fuck you up, man. It says, but every man is tempted when he is drawn away from his own lust and enticed. You're enticed. It's a lust to want to be, you know, always trying to be high, man. You're gonna have to take the low more than you're gonna want to take the low, man. You know, you got this Jake, you walking down the street, this nigga looking you up and down, like, and you know, in your heart, you probably like, man, fuck this nigga. I'm gonna see what's up with him. Man, leave that nigga alone, bro. Look him in his eye if you feel like it, give him a nod or whatever you do, you know. But most of the time, it just doesn't mean anything. It's not expedient. Even looking at these niggas isn't even Salakia. Even looking at these niggas is not even expedient. Because at the end of the day, what type of interaction are you about to get from a nigga with dreads smoking a fucking wood walking down the street? What type of interaction do you expect from this nigga? What type of fucking, you think, oh, this nigga looking me up and down like, bro, he's not even on your level. These people are below us spiritually. And you have to truly understand that, you know, you being higher, you also have to be more humble. The scriptures say, the greater thou art, the more humble thou shalt be. So understanding that, yeah, we are greater than these people because they're detached from the law, statutes, commandments. They're detached from the Lord. They're detached in the spirit and they're dead. But at the end of the day, you let them be them and you continue to serve the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua in all things that you do. You know, you getting yourself killed by a young nigga pulling a whole fucking Tech 9 out of his goddamn pants it's not honorable, bro, because you could have avoided that shit. You could have very likely avoided that. You know what I'm saying? We're facing times where we're gonna have to take lows every single day, all the fucking time. We're coming into times of pestilences, famines. You know how humbling it is to not have any fucking food to eat, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, things like that are coming upon the face of this earth very soon, right? And you're gonna have to really train your mind to do that which is right. Like it says in 1 Corinthians 9:27, you know, Apostle Paul, I trained my mind like an athlete to make it do that which it should, you know, in the NLT, because ultimately, that it's required of us to have a strong mind in this faith. You read in Sirach 22:19, it's like a timber girt could be bound up in a house so strong that when the wind comes, you know, it can't shake. So can a man that is built up on it, on wise counsel, have a good mind when the wind comes, roughly paraphrasing. All right, so, you know, when this wind comes and this bullshit is, you know, Salaki, I don't have my apocrypha, you know, so I left it in the car. But, yeah, I just figured I'd throw that in. But, you know, when the wind comes, you know, that your mind is so strong. When that bullshit comes, your mind is so strong that, you know, you can't be fretted. There's you know, like the beloved brother from Tazar from GMS Arizona. This brother had gotten in an accident one time and he had somebody with him and that person told him, I've never seen somebody so straight-faced during an accident in my entire life. Bro just was able to accept any fate. And that's the spirit. And call Allah Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. That brother got out of that, you know, all well. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the spirit. That's that faith. That's that deep faith, and that's that stoicism. That's that heart of a man. That's really what that is, bro. That's what that is. All right? And to get to that level, you have to be humble. You have to take the lows. You have to get, you know, beat the fuck down and get back up, man. How can the fuck can you look in the eyes of death as a man and just be like, well, take it. That's the nature of the elect. That's the nature of men who follow Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, because we live not for ourselves, we live for the Lord. For, James 14, it says, but every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust have conceived, it bringeth forth sin. Alright, so the only thing that can come from you being in the fucking flesh and lusting after these stupid ass things and shit is sin, bro. You trying to be top G all the time, what the fuck is that gonna get you? Sin. That's a lust. You wanna be that, you know, but at the end of the day, we're humbled here. The elect are being humbled or being trained or being built up by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So afterwards, we can have the forever praise as joint heirs under Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, where we will be able to forever praise our Lord as well, man. You know, the elect aren't just going to be some average Joes in the kingdom. They're going to be like the royalty, the ruling class. That's what we hope for. But are we ruling class right now? No, we still have work to do, man. It says, and sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. So a lot of the shit that you can get yourself into in these situations can lead to your demise at the end of the day, whether it be the spirit being ripped away from you or whether it be you actually physically dying and shit like that. These things are not expedient. These things are the end thereof is death. That shit's fucked up, man. You got to really tune into your mind and have the strength to be able to do that. You know, I got to rebuke myself too sometimes, man. Like, you know, some shit will be beating you down. You just got Satan throwing all these, you know, misfortunate ass situations in your life. But at the end of the day, are you going to just allow a place for this nigga to just come in and make things worse? Or are you going to go to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and beg and plead to the Lord to help you have the strength to get through this thing, man? Because at the end of the day, we want to see brothers win. You want to see yourself win, man. You want to please the Lord with all your doings and glorify Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Glorify Yahweh Hashem Yahushua also in your actions and the things that you do, man. He sees that one of his faithful servants is moving in the right spirit. That is good. That is a good thing. Especially coming from, you know, Jake's, where they just always doing wickedness, man. So just think about these things. There's a lot of elements, bro. Think about the Lord dying on the cross, man. Think about it, bro. Like, really think about the sacrifice of Yahweh Shai, the ultimate sacrifice. Think about the fact that this faith is bigger than just you. It's not just you, man. This is not just a you thing. All right, you have to understand that there's a greater working behind all these things. But at the same time, you know, work on your own salvation. Part of working on your own salvation is making good decisions. You have to make good decisions, bro. There's generally, when you go into some shit in a certain circumstance, there's a right decision and there's a wrong decision. You know, like a lot of the times, you know, there's a decision that's in the spirit and there's a decision that's in the flesh. You know, you want to maximize the decisions that you make in the spirit. You get in Sirach 17:25, it says, return unto the Lord, forsake thy sins, thy prayer before his face, and offend less. So you have to really repent, you know, and try to put off that old man and try to put off those old habits and those old things that you used to do and move into this new man and offend less. You know, forsake thy sins, man. Like, that's the shit that the old man used to do. If you truly are in his faith and you truly are trying to do your best here, you know, you forsake that nigga and you let him die. Right? And you grow into this new creature that is good, that serves Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. We are like these warriors, like it says in 1 Timothy, see if I can get it, Shalakia. Is it 2 Timothy 2? So bear with me for 1 second, Hakim Salakia. I think it's 2 Timothy 2. Yeah. 2 Timothy 2:1, it says, thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Yahweh Shai Mashiach, and the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men who shall be able to teach others. Right? Therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of life, that he may please him who chose him to be his soldier. You're trying to please the Lord with your actions. You are trying to war against this as a good soldier of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. And no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life. A part of the affairs of this life is the lusts. A part of the affairs of this life is making bad decisions and shit. This motherfucker will tempt you, man. This devil will tempt you to be in a lustful ass spirit. And you could lust after a lot of things, man. You could lust to be, always want to be that top guy. That's a part of it. And even on the other hand too, entangling himself with the affairs of this life. You know, this body is gonna have you thinking in emotional state sometimes, bro. So you gotta check that shit. Because if you're really warring for your How About Shem Yahshua, you were trying to be a stoic. You were trying to be temperate, not too high, not too low. You in the middle and you fighting every single day, right? And if any man strive for masteries yet, as he is not crowned except they strive lawfully. Right? So you have to really strive for this thing, man. You have to really be in the spirit to please the Lord. Like it says right here, please him who chose him to be a soldier. You have been chosen to come into this faith. You have been chosen by something, you know, by Yahweh Shem Yahushai, this power that is greater than everything, for you to understand his word. You know, this is a very rare thing to be, you know, in this faith, and even more rare to be a part of the elect. If you go down to like, apparently to the world census, 144,000 compared to like the 8 or 9 billion people that are on the United States, not the United States, Slovakia. Compared to all the people that are on the planet, the elect is like 0.000000018% of the world population. That's a very rare man. All right, think about these things and process it and understand that you have to be making good decisions. You have to be doing right, man. This is a rare thing. This is beautiful that we're involved in. And lastly, I want to end this off on Philippians, the 2nd chapter, going to the 12th verse. And it says, wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. The Lord is here with us in the spirit. He is praying for his elect. And we fear Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We fear what's going to happen to us if we don't make these good decisions. If you don't make good decisions, you expect the chastisement on the very end of it. Sirach 30:1, you know, father will lift up a rod to his son, you know what I'm saying, to correct him, to keep him in the right place. So when you do make those bad decisions, when you do make those slip-ups, the scriptures tell you in the Proverbs, a righteous man falleth 7 times but get it back up, but the wicked fall into mischief. Right? Have the spirit of truly wanting to do better. Make sure your heart's in the right place. The apostles say that. Make sure your heart's in the right place, man. If your heart's in the right place and Yahweh Shem Yahushua sees your sincerity, he will bless you with being able to have the strength to get past these things that were once stumbling blocks unto you. When you first come into the faith, you know, you operating on a objectively lower level than you do when you come later on. So, you know, it's more expected of you to even tighten up. You fall here and there, you fall here and there, you fall here and there, and you get up and you get built up. You know, we're kind of getting to these last times, man, where we got to dial in. It's easy to fuck up. It's easy to fall away. It's easy. It's easy. All right? So that's why you have to really focus in, dial in, man. Understand the times that we're in. All right? You know, like it says in that Romans 13:11, it's like a wake for, you know, for our salvation is nearer than what we expected. This is right around the corner, bro. The prophecies are coming out. All right? Really dial in. But reading that verse one more time, wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, but not as in my presence only, but now. And that talks about integrity. We understand the Lord's always watching us, so you can't escape from that. But at the end of the day, have some fucking integrity, man. Live this faith. Live this truth. And it says, but now, much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You have to fear the Lord truly and tremble, you know, that you want to make sure that you make these, you know, good decisions as much as possible, and pray to the Lord for the Spirit to do these things. All right? Because Satan's tempting bros on a daily basis. But Adawan Ratazada was an edifying lesson. I want to lastly give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakbadash, Shalom, and good luck to Akim Al-Akbar.